Alright guys, today's video is going to be on how to change your OpenPilot fork and or branch using PuTTY. You might hear me say PuTTY sometime during this video, but look past that please. So this is going to be pretty much from you're running stock OpenPilot and you've never SSH'd in before to you have your new fork or branch. So we'll just get started. The first thing you're going to do is just go to gamma.ai, scroll down to the very bottom, go to the wiki. We're going to find SSH into your comma 2. We're going to be doing option 2 here for PuTTY. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is get our private key for PuTTY. So you just follow these instructions. You'll find the raw button right here and right click and click save link as, and then you can save it as that default name it comes up with, or just save it as PuTTY key so it'll be a little bit easier for you to find. So save that and you won't get that message because you won't have it saved already probably. So you can go back to these instructions. You'll need to have your IP address for your comma or eon. It works for both just the same. And you can follow these, settings, Wi-Fi, open Wi-Fi settings, more options, expand the menu by the 3 dots and then get advanced. And then you'll get your IP address, and it says here you have to put in root at your IP address, or you can just put in your IP address and it'll ask you the username. You can just put in root, or I think you can put in Ronald McDonald if you want to. So we'll open PuTTY. I'll put a link in the video of where to download it from, and I happen to know my comma 2's IP address, 78022. So then you'll come over here to the left hand side and click on SSH and go to auth, and then you'll click right here and you'll do browse and select that key you just downloaded and then do open, and it'll ask you to log in as, and this is because I didn't put in root at the IP address, so I'll just type in root and here I am. This is your OpenPilot folder, accessed through SSH. So what you're going to want to do is get to the data folder, and you'll just do cd change directory /data, and so now we're in the data folder. And what I like to do is to back up the current install of OpenPilot, and the way you do that is you'll do mv and then you do OpenPilot, and then so you're gonna move that OpenPilot folder and make it into, and I usually do OpenPilot.backup, and doing this will make sure by the time you finish you've actually changed the branch. So now instead of having an OpenPilot folder, I have an OpenPilot.backup folder. So now we need to decide what branch or what fork and what branch we're gonna use. So I'm gonna do Eric's ZSX fork, and this is how I usually find his GitHub. I just Google his name plus GitHub, select OpenPilot, whatever fork or branch you're gonna go to, or you'll need to know the fork you need to go to get to this. You need to get to the GitHub page for that person's fork, whether it be Shane or even Arn, who FY is his branch is banned, but you could use it if you so desired. So you need to get here, and you'll get this. Click on this code and just click the copy. Okay, so now it's on your clipboard. Just go back to PuTTY, and what you're going to want to do is type in git clone, and then if you just right click right where that green is, it'll fill that in, and we're going to download it. This will take a few minutes. I'm not going to pause the video or anything like that. Just going to let it rock and roll. You can get a feeling for how long it takes. some of the different branches take a little bit, or different forks take a little bit of a different time to get done. But we'll just wait. I'll entertain you with a song and dance maybe later if I get too bored. It doesn't take too awful long. I'm talking 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll select our branch once we get this done. If you were going to download OpenPilot, I know at least it's a little bit of a different step you have to take at the end. I'm not sure about every one of them. I think if the URL doesn't end with OpenPilot, there's a step you have to take. But I'll talk about that when we get there in just a minute. For Eric's branch is pretty close to stock, and his branch is so-called authorized by comma, so we don't have to worry about that step for this particular installation. But I will go over it with you just for you'll know. I know specifically if you use OpenPilot, there's an extra step you have to take, and it's pretty simple. But we'll get there in just a second. So we're almost done downloading, and then it's got a step or two more it'll take, and then we'll get there. Alright, so now we're right here. If it were OpenPilot, what we would have to do is we'd have to type in MV OpenPilot and then OpenPilot, and what that would do would be, of course you would want to spell it right, that would move the contents of the OpenPilot folder it just downloaded to an OpenPilot folder. But since we're using Eric's fork, it doesn't take that. So what we were going to want to do is change CD to change directory to OpenPilot that we just downloaded. And if it didn't work correctly, since we moved OpenPilot to OpenPilot.backup earlier, it'd give you an error right here, and you would know you did something wrong. But since it went through, we know we did it right. So now we need to set our branch that we want to use. If you don't do this step, you'll be on the default branch, which for Eric I think is, I'll tell you. So anyway, just go back to the GitHub page. You shouldn't have closed it out, and go to the branches. So his default branch is 060. So that's what we would be on right now if we rebooted right now. But I want to be on 0710 ZSS. So how we get on that is we'll go back to PuTTY, and we'll do git checkout 0710 _ ZSS, and you have to match this exactly or you'll get an error. Give it a second. So now we have switched branches, and to check to see if there's an update for some reason, even though we just downloaded it from GitHub, we'll do git pull and it'll check for an update. We're already up to date. So at this point, all you have left to do is type in reboot. Before I hit enter, I just want to go over the fact that you can do this while the comma is still on the windshield of your car. I've got mine sitting in front of me, but you can do it while it's still installed in the car as long as it's on your Wi-Fi network. You can do it after you hit reboot. Just, take a smoke break, drink a coffee, whatever you want to do, because it's going to take a few minutes. But you can verify once you hit reboot that it'll go through. Sometimes I have messed up and it's gone into recovery mode. Don't fret, just do it over. You'll be fine. So gonna hit reboot, and then the comma 2 or eon will reboot, and you'll have your new fork and branch when you get done. If you have any questions, just let me know.